Hello again, welcome back to the kitchen table. Just a quick disclaimer, this video is going to be about the law in the UK right now as it stands for unmanned aerial vehicles. If you're from somewhere else other than the UK and or you're not interested in that, then you might want to check out one of these lovely suggestions here because you may not find this particularly interesting, and it's not specific to Phantom Vision or anything like that. So with that said, and with this very nice Shiraz Petit Verdot this evening from South Africa, which traditionally cheers. So I don't know if you saw today the UK's first successful prosecution for quotes reckless UAV flying was reported, and the guy involved was fined £800, which in the scheme of things isn't much, but of course £3,500 in legal fees to the other side as well. And this has prompted some sort of people to ask me about, what is the law, and is there a law, and am I covered because I'm not doing it commercially, and so on. So I'm going to do a very brief overview of my understanding of the law in the UK in the air navigation order for flying your Phantom Vision or any other UAV. This isn't legal advice, it's my understanding. Go and do your own research, go and check out everything yourself. I will put links down below to the various documents, and we're just going to have a quick look. So, the Civil Aviation Authority in the UK regulates UK airspace and controls aircraft within that. And for the purposes of the air navigation order, what we're flying is an aircraft. But specifically, it's a small unmanned aircraft. And if you stick a camera on yours, or you've got one built in like the Vision, it's a small unmanned surveillance aircraft. And because of that, huge chunks of the air navigation order are completely irrelevant. We don't care about flight crew licensing and operating in, tour operating to airports and all that sort of stuff, which is great. There are pretty much three sections that you need to keep in mind. The first one is Article 138, which basically says a person must not recklessly or negligently cause or permit an aircraft to endanger any person or property. That's a catch-all. Whether you're doing whatever you're doing, if you fly like an idiot and you're reckless as to hurting anybody or damaging anything, you've broken the law, irrespective. So that's something to bear in mind. At all times, you should be not doing anything to cause or permit an endangerment of anybody. So that's Article 138. The next one is Article 166, which is the small unmanned aircraft. And I'm not going to read all this out for you. You can see the clauses here, but the important things are you have to be satisfied the flight can be safely made. So that means you have to have had a look and said, well, it's a bit windy, I'm going to go home, and not, it's a bit windy, let's go for a thrash and might blow it into somebody or something, or, fog or whatever. The other one is that you have to maintain direct, unaided visual contact. Sufficient that you can make sure you're not going to crash into anything or anybody else. Now, generally speaking, that means if you can still see it with your eyes and you're using a screen, an app, for example, with a Vision, that would be fine. If, however, you are head down with your head in some fat sharks, then technically it's illegal. There is an exemption, though, for that kind of immersive FPV, but to fly under that exemption, you need to follow some strict rules, such as having a spotter with you at all times and certain limits to your height and distance. I think if you want to do full immersive FPV, you need to go and research those yourself. The other section, which a lot of people get confused because the next section down mentions things like 400 feet above the surface and so on, but that's only if you are flying something which is more than 7 kilograms. If you're flying something that's less than 7 kilograms, none of that applies. There is no height limit, there is no distance limit, what there is a restriction that you need to maintain unaided visual contact at all times. Now, in some conditions, that could be 300 feet up or away, and in others, it could be 1,000. I've certainly been able to keep mine fully visual at 1,000 feet in certain conditions, and I haven't been able to, it's starting to drift away from being visual at 500 feet in other conditions. So that's fairly straightforward. And of course, the catch-all at the bottom, you are not allowed to fly for aerial work. So you're not allowed to accept any valuable consideration for your flying, unless you follow through various criteria. And I might talk about that in another video. The other important section for us is the next one, section 167, which is about surveillance aircraft. Basically, you've got a camera on that is available to record. If you're just doing FPV with no recording, that doesn't count as surveillance. But if you've got a Vision with an SD card in it, or you're recording your GoPro footage to put on YouTube, you are a surveillance aircraft. And basically, you are not allowed to fly over or within 150 meters of a congested area. I've seen loads of YouTube videos of people flying over their houses in built-up urban areas. You're in breach of 167. Or within 50 meters of any vessel, vehicle, or structure which is not under your control. So if it's your car or your house, or you have restricted access to something, then that's fine. But if it isn't, then be careful if you're going to stick your videos up on YouTube. We also need to keep 50 meters away from any person. But again, that applies to people who are not under your control. So if you're standing there with someone and you can come right up close because you are in control of them. If it's random strangers in the park and you're buzzing over their heads closer than 50 meters, that's a no-no. So that's basically the rules and regulations that affect us as flyers. Hopefully, I think because this guy was choosing to fly over a very sensitive part of the world which has a nuclear submarine base in it, I suspect that's why he got dealt with a bit more harshly. But they did use his YouTube videos against him. So you may want to just think a little bit about what you post up if you're going to deliberately sail close to the edge of these regulations. I think at the moment it's a fairly light touch regulation. I don't think there's anything in there that's too harsh for us. And like I say, in the UK, you can operate commercially. You just need to do jump through some more hoops and get some certain qualifications. So yeah, that's a summary in a nutshell. If you've got any further questions, as far as I can from my basic understanding, I will answer them. Or I'll point you at the bottom to links to the actual air navigation order and the CAA website, which has a lot more information. So yeah, that was prompted from some discussions around that news item. I hope it's been of some interest, a little bit of a dry subject. I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks now, going on holiday to somewhere warm, not taking the Vision, can't fit it in. I've got 2 small children, I need all the luggage space I can get. But I have keyed up a couple of videos and they'll be being published over the next couple of weeks while I'm away. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you when I'm back. There might be a tan on the arm. You never know. Thanks very much, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.